Good morning. I'm very privileged and honored to be here. And again, my name is David Recker. I'm a vice president of marketing for Broadcom. Broadcom is a company that develops integrated circuits for communications. So I think if you use any type of electronic device that communicates, you're likely going to be able to use technology that's developed by Broadcom. So I also hope you guys enjoyed the challenge that you had. And I heard a lot of noise, so I think you guys were communicating really well. And my challenge is to kind of give you a little bit of inspiration about my own life and how I got into the field that I'm currently in today. So I look at you guys and I see a lot of wonderful smiles and faces, and this is an awesome time for you guys. You guys are full of hope and aspirations, and I think it's a golden opportunity. You're going to have a lot of challenges today. And I think if you guys make the most of it, you'll learn a lot, and you'll never forget this day. So when I was your age, I just want to share with you that we didn't have a lot of the amenities that you guys have today. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the PC. We didn't have smartphones. We weren't able to make digital pictures. Back then, if we had to study, we had to go to the library, and we had to use books. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I had to use a pencil and paper and rulers and calculators, and that's how I was able to get through. And when I was young, I really didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know what engineering was. And when I was your age, my family just, my father worked for our military. We lived in Heidelberg, Germany for about 5 years. My family traveled back, and we moved back to a small town in Arizona. It's called Sierra Vista. And very small town, about 30,000 people. And I didn't know anything about engineering, but I did know how to play basketball. So what I wanted to share with you is that when I was young, I always thought about basketball and how I was going to play. And the good thing is, my parents were very strict. And for me to play basketball, I had to get good grades. So I had to study math, I had to study science. And my parents, of course, wanted me to become a lawyer or a doctor. I think that's pretty traditional for parents. And I wanted to play basketball, but I also knew if I wanted to play, I had to study. And when I made it through high school, in the 9th grade, I was the same height as I am today. So I thought I was going to play basketball, but I realized I stopped growing. And when I got into high school, my mom looked at me and she said, "David, I watch you play basketball. I watch people on television. I think you should become a lawyer." So the thing is, eventually I realized, my parents do look out for me, and I'm sure that they look out for you too. And a lot of times you're not going to know what you're going to become. But when you study and you gain knowledge, you're going to get more opportunities. So thank God I studied, and my parents were hard with me, and I studied math and science, and I was able to get a scholarship in engineering for college. And I ended up going to the University of Arizona. So don't listen to anybody from Stanford or Cal Berkeley. University of Arizona is the top school in the nation. And if you listen to Steve Kerr, who's the coach of the Golden State Warriors, he'll probably second that. So Steve Kerr and I, we actually went to school together, and I got to watch him play basketball, and he was actually very good. But anyways, by studying engineering, I had an Air Force scholarship. And the other thing I want to make a point too is that every now and then you're going to have to make decisions, and sometimes they're difficult. And when I got out of college, I had a choice: either go into the Air Force or go into the civilian world. So I made a choice to go into the civilian world, and I got to a job at Intel Corporation. So if you guys don't know, Intel is one of the inventors of integrated circuits, and they're one of the companies that developed a microprocessor. And because I was able to study and I created these opportunities, I worked at Intel, and I worked in an industry where they changed the world. Intel built computer chips for PCs, and it changed the world, and I was part of that. So every person today is probably familiar with a personal computer or some kind of computer. And I think that that is something that I was very fortunate to have. Also throughout my years, I was an engineer, and I worked in digital video. And I got a chance to look at how, or experience how, that changed the world. So I'm sure a lot of you guys, access YouTube and you're able to stream digital video today, I think that, I was part of that. And I think, I was very fortunate to do that. And then eventually I ended up moving into marketing. So today, I work in marketing, and one of the special things that you do with marketing is you're able to take the knowledge that you know, you're able to communicate and work with companies and try to convince them to design devices or technology or design products with the technology that your company develops. So for the last 10 years, I worked in the Wi-Fi field. So if you guys have smartphones, you probably have some experience with Wi-Fi, and you know that a smartphone would not be a smartphone without Wi-Fi. And it was very difficult at first because Wi-Fi, it consumed a lot of power. A lot of people didn't know what you were going to use it for, and it took a lot of effort, and we failed a lot of times. And it took a lot of time before we were able to finally convince a company to put Wi-Fi into the telephone. And I think that today you see that almost any mobile phone today would not be a smartphone unless you have Wi-Fi. So I think that I want to leave you with some good advice, because every one of you are going to have to make some choices. The more knowledge you gain, the more opportunities you will have. And many people pass up opportunities because they're afraid to work hard. Don't be afraid to work hard. And today you're going to have a lot of challenges. Make the most of it. And you may not know what you want to become today. You might make a decision to become a doctor or a lawyer one day, or maybe a film director. Don't be afraid to dream. And when you have dreams, you will have a lot of inspirations to make something out of your life. You're young right now. You have a chance to make the most of it. Now's the time to think about it. And whatever you choose to do, or whatever you decide to become, do it with all your heart. Because when you do that, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. And you'll be amazed at what difficulties that you'll be able to get through. So anyways, I want to leave you with a good thought. You're going to have a lot of challenges today. I think the team here has done an excellent job. And make the most of it and do it from your heart, right? All right, thank you.